200 to go. Evaporate with Jimmy Star joining it and heading it. Then Angel Capital. Jimmy Star, 100 metres to go. A length and a quarter, Angel Capital. Jimmy's too good. Jimmy Star rolling.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm joined in studio with John Walter before his Japanese Cup sojourn.
Get me some tickets, would you?
Hey?
Get me some tickets.
You left
How hard is it?
Left it too late.
At least, you got to pay out of your bunghole for the Masters tickets, but at least you can get them.
A few years ago when Huey won and I went, it wasn't even that full.
Mate. Where did you go? Did you go to the right track?
Yeah, Japan Cup.
They were like 120,000 there.
Chevelle.
And it's not a PVL 120, it's a real deal.
The only time it felt full was when we decided to go look at them in the yard for the Japan Cup. And
yeah, that's not a bright move.
Well, yes. We'd barely left the box all day because we were a bit hungover. But then we tried to watch the race on the front lawn, and then it was like an ant stampede because they were a lot shorter than us, and I'm not tall. But then we just aborted because we were actually scared
What about
for
when
our
they
life.
start banging the books?
Yeah.
When they load them in and they start banging the books.
Very scary.
Different level. She's
yes.
no what's that? There's no Neil Diamond there, but it's pretty good.
So beware the crush from the yard to the front lawn. So I don't advise that, especially if you got the little fella there. Nico Noonan, how are you, brother? Fresh from the wedding?
Yep, fresh off well, not my wedding, someone else's there on Saturday. So yeah, you were just talking about off air how you can't remember results, and I'm a bit similar, to be honest, given the day that unfolded there. So Cranbourne this Saturday down here in Victoria. So off to Cranny for the Cup and the Meteorite, and a couple of pop-up races in Sydney as well. So the show goes on.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Ladbrokes getting around Cranbourne, good to see. And we're also sponsored by Punting Form, so two big brands that we love. Make sure you get around them. Last week, I'm not sure why you're worried about last week's results. Your tips on here were okay. Nico, Jimmy Star, everyone lined up on that. But Skipper's Canyon, yeah, it was some win. It was a great win. And Meridiana was the other good win there. But yeah, Skipper's Canyon looks like a horse to follow. A couple of misses accredited. We got Coal Crushed. I think I started chirping up 460, said it was too short, drifted to $7. Just sat there frozen thinking, way track's playing now, sort of half, don't want to lay it, don't want to back it. What I do, I had bugger all each way on infancy. So egg on my face, but wow, Joe Pride, just isn't he having a time of it, John?
He is. He's timing, he's run well, picking the right races, and he looks like it'll continue, to be honest. Does a good job of that.
Yeah, caught me by surprise, a little tweet through the week from Uncle Joe. He's obviously a friend of the show and a keen viewer, but he tweeted out that he bought a gin and tonic at the races, $18.50. He could swing a cat and not hit anyone. Why would they charge price like that when only a few turn up, or for the few that turn up? And it's alarming for me that if a bloke that's won the Hunter, the Cantala, the Spring Champion, and King Charles over the last sort of 4 to 6 weeks, if he's blowing up about $18.50 for gin and tonic, how's poor old me and Mug Punter and you going to fork out?
I'm just happy it wasn't one of the syndication mobs that had to fork out the $18.50, because it would have gone on one of the owner's bills at about $68. So at least Joe's probably not passing it on. But yeah, it's what do you say? I don't drink a lot, but $18.50 sounds high.
Well, when I went to the Japan Cup, it was $13 for a Corona in one of the big high tower up in Japan. So that was probably 5 years ago. So
anyway,
crazy,
the Wednesdays are just cactus, but I don't know. That's a weird one, but it's got a bit of traction. Old Joe there, isn't it? It's probably got more traction than his punch ups.
There's plenty going on Twitter, but the thing that sort of caught my eye, I'll keep it pretty straight down the line. And young Adam Campton, who is a trainer up here and friend of the show, he's just throwing a bit of a curveball. I'm not sure what this is about, but he's seen Mug's dinner just swimming in some gravy there. And Campo must be absolutely flying. I think I might have to snip him, but he's seen the Campton Racing hat in the background of the picture, and he's going to give him a 5% share in a horse if he can eat a large chips and gravy out of the hat. So Mug Punter, Thursday, 4:30, he's going to oblige. He's going to do it. He's got over 250 responses from the tweet. So I think he's even going to boost his share from 5% to 10% there. So
does Mug know he's getting a bill, or is it lifetime?
Well, I don't know. It could be a lifetime deal. So
Be a nice go if you gave him the 10% share and then sent him a bill first month. That'd be awesome. I'd be so happy. But he's obviously sees him as the Aussie Blogsy.
I think he is. And it's nice to see everyone playing nice on the racing Twitter for a change. Walt, you had a good result in the hosted pot yesterday, so starting to string them along. If you haven't checked out Mates Mode in the Ladbrokes area, you should be tipping a lot of good things in there between us. And RWatch25 is the code for Sunday, so that's the last one you'll do. And then you'll be in the paddock, and then I'll come back for Winterbottom next Saturday, and we can launch into Joker's Grin in the Winterbottom against Overpass and a couple of those other horses.
Run a nice second.
Ray
Yeah.
Magnerio.
Is that why Iona Merck's over there? Did it go with Overpass? Maybe that's what I was trying to work out, why the heck it's going to the railway, but maybe that's why it's there to be with Overpass.
Yeah, we can get to that race later, so we will cover that one. And we've also got the Bris Vegas show on tomorrow. Last week it was a really tricky one, and the good thing is it's at the Sunshine Coast this week and there's no rain about. Let's have a quick look at the weather roundup. We've got clear weather at Cranbourne and Ascot. There's only going to be 1 or 2 mil on the Friday and the Saturday morning at Sunshine Coast, so it should be fine anyway. Morphettville's got 9 mil on Saturday, and that's before 1 p.m, so that's concerning. And then good old Kembla Grange usually fence off there, and then they've got 5 mil Friday and 11 mil Saturday, so it's just going to set in. It's going to be overnight. It's going to rain all day.
Doesn't make any difference anyway. The track's completely cast, so it's a guessing game no matter what.
Ah, dear. Today, we're going to have a look at Cranbourne Cup and Meteor Day. I think it's going to be a great card there. The cards are really strong at all places, which is good. Gong Day at Kembla, one of my favourites. Railway Stakes in Perth. Wow, they're deep, so there's so much to get through. We'll go have a look at the Group 1, but can bet with confidence there. And Shane Adair's back after Guru Warrior last week, so I think he had one little blemish, and then he got the easy win last start. The horse finally went straight, and Shane Adair joins us from his holiday.
Thank you, Scoot. Yeah, joining you from the Little Birdie studios. Guru Warrior did run straight, got the cash. A horse that I think we'll probably see over in Victoria shortly. Looks well above the staying ranks in South Australia. A stayer of some promise, I'd say.
Outstanding. Can't wait to see more of him. Mate, 3 weeks off after the Oasis gig. Pulled up a bit grubby.
Bit grubby. Yeah, look, old people shouldn't be doing stuff like that anymore. Yeah, $18 gin and tonics, hard to swallow as well at concert prices. So I'll be glad to get back to Morphettville where prices are a little bit more resemble maybe the 90s out on track.
As they should too.
Have the cheese wheel there? Is it like Cracker Jack? Do they still have the
wheel
cucumber
cheese
sandwiches?
That's right.
It's a nice old track, Morphettville. Easy to get to.
It is, mate. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be sampling any of the food from their canteens or anything though. It's a bit of a roulette wheel of the Bay Marie there, so you may walk out with some sort of disease or fungus or something like that, but I think we'll just stick to gambling, I think.
Gosh, I didn't realise he was a toff. All right, let's have a look at Morphettville, couple of your best bets. We'll get into the serious stuff. Race 2, it's a Ladbrokes Skybo Series finals day there, so it should be solid betting, and I'll be betting a lot in Adelaide as well. Aruga Mama $2.60, Talisay $4.60, Capulet $7, What's the Name George $9.50, Diamico is $9.50, and then you got eventually $12. Horse here that you like is 60 kilos after Taylor Johnson's claim, and it's Aruga Mama. So they went, they sort of just got away with it out in front, the leaders, and Nico's horse Don Diego de Vega's there, and she just sort of whacks away here, Aruga Mama. I thought most of these were headed to the Jericho or the hurdles, Bagman.
Yeah, well, they probably could be and still win this race, I think. Scoot. So I think Aruga Mama was pretty good here considering the class of race it meets today. The winner of that would be well into the red in this event. You go Aruga Mama's start prior, absolutely bolted in similar grade, started at around $1.40 there, hence why they went to Melbourne for the next start of the Lexus, I think it's still called, isn't it? The 2800 there on Cup Day. So look, back to a class which is very winnable. You mentioned the claim before for Taylor Johnson, takes 1.5 off. I thought 6-4 or 250 was a pretty good price, so I had it marked around $1.80. The only concern for me is that wet track. You mentioned the 9 mil before. Don't want it too wet, but if the rain doesn't arrive, I think the 250 is a really, really good bet. And unfortunately, it's not race 1 for Walt, but race 2 will kick us off in a winning way, and we can load up for the rest of the afternoon.
Talisay, I thought, was a bit of a sneaky chance, and especially if it gets wet. And I think it's got the Guru Warrior form, so that'll test that out. Nico, have you had a look, and what do you think of these camels?
Yeah, well, that's I think that's pretty much what they are. Aside from the favourite, who that was a sound run. I think that race had a fair bit of depth to it. The Heritage Cup, it wasn't just like a sort of whacker race. So yeah, I think it looks the right sort of form line. It's just whether she can carry the weight, I suppose, against these other horses that get 54 kilos, but looks to have a significant class edge on her rivals.
Well, Capulet, Talisay, anything to knock over
I refuse. He still hasn't done race 1, so I just refuse to have an opinion or chime in.
Sorry, Walt. As soon as I saw race 2, I thought I'm going to offend someone here.
Oh, dear. We love a little bit of friendly banter. All right, Aruga Mama, and just a little asterisk. If it gets too wet, it could bring Talisay into the race.
I think
that's
so.
My little query there. Morphettville race 8 is the next one, and Palmer Jumeirah is the favourite, $3.30. Mystic Wonder $4.20. Miss Ludi $9.50. Lucky Duck, named after Nico. Angel Talk $12. All Too Misty $15. Star Tide $17. Meg's Magic $17. Global Turn $18. They got Stolen Kiss $18. This could be the Cecil Street Handicap. Some of these names are absolute beauties. Pagman, the horse that you like here is Mystic Wonder in the blue and the white, getting the PR just in behind them.
You didn't get a lot of luck in the straight, Mystic Wonder, this day. Palmer Jumeirah, who's the favourite of this race, ends up winning it. And you can see just on the footage, it just doesn't get a lot of clear air lay, but it's still working well to the line. Start prior, Mystic Wonder absolutely smashed the clock first up over this track and distance, running times that we haven't seen at Morphettville for a long, long time. Hence why it started at $2 its very next start. But I think back to the scene of the crime, third up, again, a nice little claim for Anna Livesley this time. I think it will sit forward and be awfully hard to beat, and definitely makes a much better bet than our favourite. So I think they should be swapped around in the market if I had my way. So I'm more than happy to bet on Mystic Wonder around that sort of $4.50 sort of quote. I'd have marked around $3.20.
Absolute belter, that first up run, and maybe the wide draw suit outside horses. So I can sort of see where you're going with this one.
Sitting outside lead is going to be the position, I think, for it, and get it rolling. It got held up last start, and I think the draw will favour this racing pattern. And probably by that time of the day, it won't be any, bad part of the track to be outside there, as Morphettville's fence off has been off since about 1982.
Just after Kembla went off.
Yeah, that's right.
It hurts me to say it, but I agree, and cannot add any more.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, Palmer of Jumeirah, stepping up to the 1250. Probably caught a couple off guard there last start that it actually ran the trip out. Nico, anything there?
Now, finals day in Adelaide, and you got all the Adelaide horses racing each other. It doesn't really seem my go, to be honest. So I'm happy to lean with Bagman on this one. Alicia Warren's a little bit interesting. She's a rider from Victoria who sort of around the fringes, around the edges in the sort of out wide meetings, and it seems like she's getting a few opportunities there in South Australia. It doesn't look an easy ride from 15, so there's maybe some queries there as well.
You're right about catching off guard. The first 2 starts of Palmer Jumeirah was heavily backed, but both over that 1,000 metre. So then they went up to the 1250 and it blew like the wind and bolted in. So it's hard to follow those betting moves. There obviously is a little bit of stable confidence around the horse's ability. Again, 15 3-kilo claimer at around $3.30. You can probably leave me out of that, I'd say. So you're happy to be with Mystic Wonder, and I think we'll be getting 2 for 2 and back on the winners list, Scoot.
Outstanding. She's interesting. Yeah, on my figures on punting form, she looks like she's profitable. So with that 3-kilo claim, there might be a few that go looking for her. So fascinating insight there, and something a bit left field from you too, Nico. All right, Bagman, that's hopefully 2 from 2 for you this week, and we'll see you in another, 6 weeks, a month next year? Or
yeah, probably 2028, mate. I'll be back. No, I'll make a promise to you. I'll be back next week, Scoot, just for you and Walt.
I don't think Wham are out here till the following week, are they? So no concerts on.
Beautiful
I'm still
stuff.
recovering, mate. Have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy it.
There he is, the sharpshooter, Shane Adair from Rattle Raid. Nico, I think the Cranbourne meeting this time last year was pretty dynamite leaders. How are you setting up for this Saturday?
Yeah, it was rail out 3 also. It was about 45 degrees that day and there was bushfires everywhere around Cranbourne. So it's a different sort of scenario there on Saturday. But yeah, when that rail is close to the close to the true, those inside lanes, I think it's really advantage to those horses in lane 1 in particular, and those horses that can race probably in lane 1, box seat or leading. So yeah, going in with a little bit of trepidation, to be completely honest. And I think the early part of the card, there's a few real tricky races that are hard to map. So map might be the play to sort of watch a few of those early races and then chime in later.
This is the famous meeting that the track, there was a fire on course. You remember that?
I thought that was like the Great Western or something, or was this a different one?
Oh, that was...
Remember the car, someone
good
lit a car up or something?
Yeah, that was a fair while ago. All right, so yeah, we'll set up for leaders, and then I think that sort of sounds okay, but I had a glance at a couple of early races, and yeah, there's a couple of trick shots in there. Let's go to race 3, though. This is where you've found one. It's Rhino the Wrecker, Tory Boy handicap over 25.40, which is a mouthful in itself. Hot to Go's the favourite, named after the fire, $4.20. Kembla is $6, Black Peppermint $6, Prochester $8, Harland $10, and then you got Natural Ruler 15 and a fair tail to this race. Hot to Go was in the pink and purple leading last time, Nico. Tell us why you like it.
Yeah, this is last week. I think this race is a lot stronger than what he takes on here. He had Tyke Myson, Almorak sort of coming off their back. Alma Rise down the outside in the lime cap. She's sort of been pretty competitive in races that are better than this grade. So this was his first run since the Derby at 2,400 metres. He led them up. He got pretty strong through the early stages. And I think the way this race might work out, he might just be able to sort of box seat here with Williams. I'd imagine he's definitely in lane 1, wherever he sort of settles in the run. And I just thought the way the race may work out, there seems a little bit of pressure early, and he might just be able to box seat on the quick back up, having his second run at 2,400 metres. I thought there was a lot of positives for him in a race where Black Peppermint sort of looked a danger, but he's coming off a very wet track at Sale last start, back to a dry ground. So that's probably some query there. And I think a lot of these horses are sort of midweek, sort of Friday night level at best, and his recent form suggests he's sort of Saturday class. So I think he has the class on his opposition, should get the right run. You got Craig Williams, quick back up, 2,400. Yeah, there seemed a few auto ticks for him just to have something on at the price.
And Cranbourne from that high-quality 2,800 race that you referenced earlier?
Well, he's probably the leader, Cranbourne, and I think he won this race last year, went straight to the lead and just dictated. So he's pretty well on pace. So I think if he goes to the lead, Hot to Go can maybe get his back, maybe Prochester or one of the others sort of rolls forward. But yeah, I just thought at 420, like you can poke a few holes in a few of the others, and he was good winning a few starts back at Moonee Valley. He's got all sort of Saturday form throughout this campaign, and he was good there last start at 2,400. So I thought all roads sort of led to him, and I think you could get him a bit shorter than 420 off the strength of his form.
Outstanding. Willow's handy there. I just love that you've picked a 500 metre race for Walt just to blow his head completely off.
You're going to have to poke me a few times during the race to keep me awake, I think. Bagman taking the piss with the 2,500 at the Skybow Series final, and you've one-upped him with the 25.40 Rhino the Wrecker. Too good for me, Nico. I'll be cheering for yours.
Good, I love the distance races. Where's DK? They always used to get up him as well. He always had previewing them, but I think there's a bit of an edge in him sometimes. People just brush over him, and you know, in a race like this, like he just has such superior form. I was surprised he was $4.20. So yeah, I think there is a bit of an edge in that price.
I think the Black Sun form line, I think it ties in and it runs deep. So I like the way you're thinking, Nico, in all seriousness. So I'll be with you at the $4.20 on Hot to Go. Let's have a look at race 8. It's a Ladbrokes listed Cranbourne Cup 1,600 metre race, and Sabage is $3.20 here. Air Assault $4.80, Warney $7, Exanudo is $8.50, Statuaria $11, Stapati $16, Pondalawi $19, She Light $20. Let's have a look at a couple of replays. The first one is Sabage, and this is him on the bottomless track. If you can actually see the vision, he's the widest in the sort of Italian Testarossa-ish type colours, coming widest. And it was all heart this win and just total dominance despite the the slog, Nico?
Yeah, I think he's a good horse. The query here is 2 weeks between runs off a slog track. He's got to come up in grade, third up, and he's drawn terrible. If he if he had a drawn barrier 4, I think everyone's probably steaming into him here, but he's already been 270 out to 320, and I think that drift could sort of continue. I don't think anyone has any doubts he'll end up the best horse out of this race. He looks like he's got great upside, but I just thought the race didn't work out that well for him here. He's going to have to either jam him right forward and try to get outside lead, or one out, one back, which there does look a fair bit of pace in this race, or he's going to need a fair track to be coming from the back, or just a real class edge on his rivals. We did see Nadal on this day last year sort of loop them in the Meteorite, and I think he was just better than the opposition on that day. So it can be done, even if the track is biased, but you're going to have to be really backing in that he's a lot better than him. Air Assault's been well back. He's been 750 into 480. He should get the right run, coming through a bit of Adelaide form. I don't know. He sort of lacks a knockout punch for me in Victoria. I think there's better horses than him. I don't think he's that well weighted. Given there's other horses here, I think have just the same amount of ability. I thought Enzuto is probably the map horse. He should just land in behind them. Oh, here's Air Assault winning there at Adelaide, just absolutely bolting in. Enzuto seems the map horse. He should just land in behind him. He was well backed on, I think it was Oaks Day, where he had every chance. I think he needs a really soft run to get a real strong mile, and he probably gets that here. The other 2 I really went looking for were She Light and Regal Zeus, but I saw they're both in at Kilmore, so they might head that way on Sunday. A lot of this field is in at Kilmore as well, so there could be a few scratchings here to take note of. But if Regal Zeus is here, I'll have something on him. I think he can get to the lead here and give a big side at 50s. I just thought Enzuto is probably the one of the horses in the market I'd want to be with.
Yeah, I backed, took the $7 Air Assault early. I did a Donny and thought it was a perfect map scenario, and just love how he's rock hard fit. It took Globe to beat him last time in the same race last year. I think the horse is going slightly better. He probably needs to. And I think he jumped from barrier 12 last time. I think it was 18, and then all the scratchings come out, and Air Assault went from 12 and got across with Globe, and they sort of duelled it out. So I think he can sit handy outside lead or just one pair back, and I think he's going to take some absolute stopping, a bit of the AF. And the horse that I thought was a bit dangerous at a price was Statuario with the Getafix form. Faced a hard task in the Greys race. I think he was in the Koogney and then went back to the 1400. Bad setup, ran really well. And then I thought this is probably the mini target off the back of that. And maybe it's just like a miles, his sort of sweet spot. I just don't know that he runs 2,000 metres, so might be back to a suitable trip here, but does have Dean Yendall, and I'd probably rather the apprentice from Adelaide, young Mrs. Warren, on, but it is what it is. But yeah, he'll sit in the right spot as well. But it's a tricky race. I was a bit worried about Exonuto's map. I thought he might be coffined. Could be just at one pair further back, but cracking race. And if they all overdo it, wow, Sabaj is a nice horse.
Yeah, just never seen a horse that's coming off a run that you would suspect it's going to be flat off. Like, that was just an absolute gut-busting killer. And if he's going to have to overcome a bias, I agree with Nico. Like, you're taking one home. He's the one you're taking home. But if you're ever going to take one on, it's probably this race too. So especially if the track's not helping. So I actually found the same horse as Nico. Well, he mentioned She Light. I backed it last start where I thought it was the best of things, and it looked like it was going to lead in control. One whipped around it and cut it off and just sent it insane, and it was basically off its head for the last 1,000 metres of the race there. Still kicked about 3 in front on the bend and then got run down. Soft draw. I think he's sort of an underrated horse. I think 20 to 1's a huge price. She Light. Exonuto gets the right run, but I agree with Nico. Just needs all favours. There's nothing else I could really. I thought the horse that was sort of left field that just had a complete barrier trial first up was Holy Man's, and I thought it could run well at what price is it? 20 to 1 or something as well, isn't it? Yeah, $21. So I thought they were the 220 to 1 chance they go back in the race. I couldn't back anything in the market. I thought they were all very well found. So She Light and Holy Man's for me.
Funny one. Yeah, Holy Man's, I'm just not sure if it's a miler. I thought it was out and out 1,400 metre horse, but they just seem to do yo-yo the horse, Holy Man's. It's up in trip, back in trip, all over the shop. Any thoughts on Walt's comments, Nico?
Yeah, I sort of found Holy Man's as well. It's a key form reference, that race that he came out of, and he was pretty unlucky in it. So he needs another win. That's probably his career. He loomed up in the Swan Hill Cup. I thought he was home and dashing kick back to beat him. That was back in June. So he does need another win, but I do get the feeling this race has a bit of a blowout feel to it. Like Sabaj is going to need a whole lot to go right or just be way better than him. And if that doesn't eventuate, then it's pretty wide open. So, yeah, I think it's a race to really go looking for the value.
I am Mr. Sabaj. I'd probably need $5 to back him. That's how much I love the horse, and that's how short, underpriced he is. Sorry,
You just wouldn't run it. Like, I understand
Scratch
it's a waddy race, whatever, it's sort of pop-up race or whatever. You wouldn't run it.
put him in.
Just mine, I wouldn't run it. 14 days after that run, having the task it's got here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't run it. Good luck to him, but I wouldn't run it.
Yeah, they ran some fair sectionals early too, so complete gut bust. I'd tend to agree. Race 9 at Cranbourne is the Ladbrokes Meteorite 1200 metre race, and Hedge has come up favourite. Bit of a horror story for Nico last time. 440, Zoo Sensation 450, Need Some Luck 650, Arkansas Kid 750, Nadal 9, Jigsaw 950, Watch Me Win 11, Stretton Angel $15, and you can get better the rest. Didn't really know. I could have gone for a fair few replays here, so I decided to just offer the Arkansas Kid jump out, and here he is 3 wide. I think he's a class horse of the field, Nico, and I like the fact that he's just dropped back to the 1200 metre range here. Last time he failed behind Seppels over 1400, and I think just the way that the race is going to set up, he's going to be in a stalking on sort of speed position. He's a class horse, and at $8, he was the only bet that I could really find with any sort of confidence, given how the track's likely to play. What do you think?
Yeah, I agreed. I thought I would have loved to see him a little bit stronger through the line in that trial. Maybe he was just completely throttled down, but that was my only sort of knock. If he had really just charged the line, I probably would have been like chips in here at $8 because he's actually pretty well in, only carrying 59 kilos. Like, he's a 107 rater. This is an average race for $1 million, and he's the only horse here with, I think, any real sort of group class form. The others are sort of fringe, whereas he's, got that form around Tropicus. I thought he ran well in the Rupert Clark. He starts $11 there. So, yeah, he looked pretty deadly, and I still think he's pretty well in. So, yeah, around $7, $8, like, he looks crazy overs. Zoo Sensation was the other horse I found. I think he'll map really well. My knock with him is all his forms at 1400 metres. Like, he's sort of forming better races. So 1200, just if he's sharp enough, needs some luck. Well, he'll definitely need that from where he's drawn. He'll need a few things in his favour. Hedge probably gets the pattern bias run if that sort of eventuates, where he's going to just sort of stalk the speed. But I think he's a bit of a Goldilocks horse. He does need everything to go right for him. I thought that maybe last Saturday it didn't eventuate. You were taking, 380, 350 in that race. Now you're going to take 440 here there's more opposition. So he was probably a knock. Nadal's a query on where he's at. Jigsaw will find the lead. I think he had a lot of favours there at Moonee Valley. Watch Me Win's probably a little bit of a knockout. I thought it was a pretty deep race, but Arkansas Kid seems the one around $7 that you could easily mark favourite.
Yeah, Need Some Luck's the other, I guess, the classy type, but from a map perspective, Michael D will have his work cut out from barrier at 9. Walt.
Yeah, I thought the clear two class horses were Arkansas Kid and Need Some Luck, both drawn next to each other. Both sort of, you'd think one of them is going to get the right run maybe. I don't think they'll be far away from each other in the run. Little worry, I'm still comatose about not emptying on Need Some Luck first up just because of that wet track. It's sort of second up off that, but it does race really well sort of first, second, third up, usually in its preps. So I think both of those runners should be top two in the betting. I can't understand how Hedged is favourite. I think that's pretty funny. But and Zoo Sensation back to 12, obviously going extra well, but yeah, and it's not as if it's early in its prep back to 12, it's deep into its prep back to 12. So I don't think that's going to suit it. If the track's playing crazy on speed, definitely that $10 Jigsaw looks appealing to at least chop out for sanity in case it keeps running. If it's a fair track, I probably think it's up against it. And I think the clear value right spot horse is Watch Me Win. Definitely was held up there last start, hit the line nicely behind, was it Caballas, I think, in that really slowly run race. So it's the horse that's sort of going to be Johnny on the spot at a price. And I think definitely the classes in Arkansas Kid Need Some Luck in the middle. I think they should be 1-2 in the betting.
Nadal, yard from last start, Nico?
Yeah, he improved a lot in the yard. I just don't think he handled the track. I know that I was sort of looking for a soft track with him all those runs, but that was just next level there last start. So, yeah, he's trending the right way. That Ray Magnerio form line from first up looks good. he's going to need a lot of favours though, or not a lot of luck from out there. And like, yeah, if he run to what he did last year, he'd be $1.80 here. So you're getting a fair price to find out if he is back. And I think the way he's trending in the yard, he probably is sort of set to peak here third up.
All right. Nico, this Saturday, no more weddings. You'll be at Cranbourne with the
on,
fireman kit out?
The .com coverage actually this
Ooh.
Saturday. So yeah, you can tune in there to get all my yard thoughts. Just a little sub-in job there. So yep, keen to get out to Cranbourne. As I said, a few of the early races look a bit tricky, but later on, I think there's a few good bets there, especially Arkansas Kid around that $7-8 mark. Seems a great bet.
Yeah, outstanding. Nico's playing in the seniors. Don't worry about us, Walt.
No, we're cast.
Huh?
Our little Telegram group. We're going.
We're in the thirds, reserves, the bloody sitting on the bench on the pine.
Can't do what you got to do.
One day. Oh, make sure you subscribe to Nico's Yard. It's sensational. He gets you through the Heath meetings. He gets you through a lot of
Dark time.
dark times, and keeps the turnover flowing. So he's doing a great job. Let's have a look at Kembla, the first race here. We've already spoken about the track. Fence off. Big weather watch. Big weather watch. But race 8, we'll get straight into the Illawarra Gong, Group 3. It's a 1,600 metre race, and Gringotts is the favourite. $2.20 Estadio Mistella, $6.50. Tarvi Times, $7. Mel Victoria's, $8.50. Jacass, $18. And you got New Endeavour, $21. Duke de Sessa, $26. Port Lockroy, last year's Railway winner, $27. And you got Shadizi, Sandpaper, Waterford, Democracy Manifest. Got a fair little tail this one. First replay we're going to have a look at here is Gringotts winning. Just on the inside in the Aussie Kahir colours. Tavi Times in the blue with the pink. What do you think, Walt?
I just had plenty on him here. Gringotts, he sort of pushed Headley Grange out of the way there. The head-on's an absolute cracker. Tarvi Time was a little bit unlucky for sure, but that's Tarvi Time. Always tends to find some issues. There's Ruby Fly. We'll talk about it later. So it's coming down the outside with Tarvi Time, but yeah, just completely dominant there. And whether that was his grand final or not, he performed extremely well.
The other horse we're going to have a look at is New Endeavour, and it's just having a real quiet one out the back. It's in the royal blue with the yellow, and just coming around the Pruska horse there.
Just a little Melbourne jump out this one. This is a Puglia, isn't it? An Exudo, and that's Detonator Jack back to the inside. So he's in this race as well. Obviously went quite nicely there and not quite nicely enough for the scooter, but very well. But I thought he cleaned out very nicely. There was just a beautiful little pipe opener for this race for probably both horses, to be honest.
That's it. That's all the replays.
Yeah. Well, Gringotts is clearly the obvious horse, and the betting's found it. I can't find really any knocks in it. It just keeps getting into these races beautifully, even though it draws ideally to do whatever Nash wants, and Nash is the key to a lot of these horses. There's just no real surprises. He's going to run well. He's drawn, as you said, to sort of have options. Talked about it. I sort of went through the last 30 meetings or something there for a trainer over the last couple of days, and it's about sort of 7 to 14 off is where you want to be every meeting. I don't think there hasn't been a meeting in the last 40 where the inside 5 lanes have been in play. So incredible scenes there. But regardless, if the rain arrives, they'll get to the middle, which won't worry Gringotts. New Endeavour, the Reginator's probably the biggest issue there. I just peeked very gingerly at who the rider they found was, and the Reginator's the one that we've ended up with, and he's coming off I think he's just got back from America. So he's I don't know whether it'd be fresh or not, the Reginator, but that's who we deal with. He's 20 to 1. I think he's a big price here, away from the mighty Gringotts, and I really couldn't find much else. They were the two that I thought were the sort of 1-2-1 value, not the other. Estadio Mistella is absolutely flying, but at $6.50, and it's going to have to come from last again, most likely. Duke de Sessa is an interesting horse. I thought 25 to 1 it was interesting. Just cannot for the life of me work out why the hell it's running now and first up. It's just super weird, but has run well fresh. I think it won first up last time.
And any rain is a big plus.
For it, he's a dead set surprise packet, because a lot of these horses have sort of beaten up. They've been through long preps, and I don't think they've got a lot of upside this time in. That's why I went looking for New Endeavour, and yeah, around the obvious Gringotts, who's just going to run really well.
Yeah, I thought Tarvi Time could definitely improve off that last run. He had a bit of a gap from the Alan Brown. he likes edge off. So if it gets heavy, he's a no. But if it stays in that soft range, he absolutely loves that. So just slightly toe in. Nico, any insight around Duke de Sessa or any thoughts on this race?
No, I haven't heard anything there, but yeah, I think it is intriguing. Maybe they're going to Perth or something like that with him. Maybe a Perth Cup might suit him, but yeah, it's I don't know. Like it's hard to look past Gringotts, isn't he? He's going to map well. He's tough. He won this. I think he won this race last year, and he just seems to win all these pop-up races. So don't know why that trend wouldn't continue here. I thought the horse that's deadly is the Stardown Mistella, but you can nearly put him in the bin after drawing barrier 19. So yeah, I'd have to be with Gringotts, but I think you've sort of missed your chance to really launch into him. It was probably last start really at, $3, not $2 here.
There was one more knockout, Democracy Manifest. It's just his sort of sucky race where he did a little clean out trial since last time, back to a mile. I think is a big positive for him from 1800, and soft's okay. He could run well at 33 to 1 too. If it's going to have something's going to have to go wrong or not run to his best, that's for sure for Gringotts.
Definitely likes the edge off Democracy Manifest. So interesting race, but yeah, as you say, it's a little bit annoying. At 61 kilos, you think I've got to take him on, but he just keeps lumping these big weights and putting a hole in. And Nash, when Nash is in the mood, as you say, Johnny's a very hard man to get past, which is scary.
He likes the 7-figure races too, Nash.
Loves cash. Nash loves the cash.
Nash loves the cash.
Yeah. Kembla Grange race 9 is the next one. It's the Evergreen Turf Handicap. It's a benchmark 88. Well timed is the favourite 420. Lord of Biscay 460. Ascarada is 550. Our Gold Hope $6. Ruby Fly 10. Collect Your Cash 10. Super Helpful 18. Private Legacy $21. Let's have a look at a couple of replays. First one is Our Gold Hope, and I think this is in the Rosehill Cup, and she sort of leads them up here, but just doesn't quite run the trip.
Yeah, sort of forced into pushing going, and I think they just sort of had a shot at the title and set a pretty solid tempo here, and yeah, didn't perform poorly, but certainly back to a mile from this is much more to like. It has run. I was just putting it in here. Ran a neck to the world's best horse, Chaelwolf, over 2,000 last prep on a soft track. So not as if she's doesn't run the 2,000 out, and but 21 starts, 2 wins is probably her only little query. But we'll talk about her more in a sec. Or are we watching the Ruby Fly?
Yeah, well, let's have another look. We'll get closer. So she's in sort of the bottle green. Wow, Nelly takes a severe right turn when she gets hit by the stick, and then she's like a Coles sort of shopping trolley, just real wayward out the back here, and she's just starting to come in behind Tavi Time here. And wow, the last bit of her work was outstanding. She was going to the line almost as good as anything there. I think the small field's what really excited me about this runner, and she's the first bet that I've had into the race. So I nearly went again this morning when I realised that you were tipping it, but I wanted to hear what you said first before I relaunch.
I think you definitely need the rain, especially with the draw. Do you sort of going to get back and not need favours? Will probably will, but it definitely needs a bit of rain to build the confidence with Ruby. Tricky, enigmatic horse, but that's like what price would Vivier be in this race? I just feel like that form is very solid for this race. Sort of well timed Ascot form. I don't see as being as strong, and Ascot sort of led and controlled last time. I don't see it sort of improving, and if they try the same thing, it's probably going to be down on the inside with the Apprentice. Well timed, I don't think runs a strong mile. I think that's as far as it goes. Lord of Biscay's got the Apprentice as well, and I can't have it short. So it's a little bit by default that, especially Our Gold Hope, which is, I did mention, 21 starts, 2 wins, but this does look her absolute D-Day. She's been getting beaten 3 and 4 lengths in really strong races, and now sort of Winkers on back home. Perfect draw to be able to have options, does handle the ground no matter what it is, and, super fit coming back from that 2,000 metre run. This is her D-Day, and $6 looked okay, and as you said, sort of Ruby Fly, $10 looks attractive too, coming just off if you literally line up sort of Gringotts, Vivier to her run there where she was unlucky and closing, what price would they be here? They'd be astronomically short. So, I think they're both standout value in early betting. And Private Legacy, our old horse, is a little bit dangerous. I don't think it wants the rain to come as much, but it gets a huge rider change and just one of those horses that can jump out of the ground third up at 20 to 1. Don't let it under your guard. Collect the Cash is dangerous. First up, Waterhouse horse up on speed, just could keep kicking, but It's got a big task still to win this race first up at 1600. So sort of a D-Day run for Our Gold Hope for me as the one to beat, and Ruby Flyer, especially if the rain comes, should be steaming down the outside. And if Private Legacy knocks us off, don't be losing on the race.
I thought Lord of Biscay, of the two in the market, like between Well Time and Lord of Biscay, I was sort of a bit more forgiving of Lord of Biscay. Two really honest runs, but then you got B. Osmond.
Yeah, and it's a horse that seems to find trouble as well. And when you get the combination of a horse that seems to find trouble with a rider that is never out of trouble, then, unless you call it a double negative, it's pretty hard to come into the horse at that price. It's just not a bomb-proof horse. Even when it's a weird horse, has a hard run in a hard race, and it goes like a rocket, gets the one out, one back in a soft race and can't go. So those horses drive me mad, and I'm much happy to look around him, and certainly looks a horse that doesn't want the rain to come either.
Yeah, after I watched the Lord of Biscay replay a couple of times, I'm like, I'm on the wrong horse here. It has to be Ruby Flyer, just zinging down the outside as she can do. So let's hope she can zing.
At double the price.
Yeah, double the price. I thought I'll auto bet time. Nico, any interest, thoughts on this one?
No, straight to the keeper for me. That looks way too hard. So you boys have done a great dissection of the race there. So
sorry, mate. The 25-40 Rhino the Wrecker. Sorry. That's much easier to get through.
Yeah, we pinpointed one horse there. We talked about 15 there.
Every one of the races takes 3.5 minutes to watch the replay of in the warm up for the Rhino the Wrecker. At least these ones are only a minute.
God, you talk some absolute gibberish. Racingwatch.com.au is where you can continue the gibberish in the Discord channel, or you can get the noise-free Telegram service, both sensational, great for this weekend, for Saturday and Sunday, and then John will have a well-earned rest over to Japan.
I'll be resting, mate. But I'll do Nico's job for the Japan Cup unless he's over there. He could be on Japan TV by then. He's a stepping stone man. He's going racing.com. He could be there with Damien Lane and Rachel Schumacher doing the mounting yard from Japan by the time I get there.
I have always wanted to get to Japan. It looks outstanding to do the yard, so I might come with you next year, Walt.
Yeah, absolutely. It just doesn't take much to entice me over there.
I'd go back, so we should be trying to do that.
It's my favourite place on earth.
I hate a holiday. No, yeah, he's a big no stone unturned man. Walt, last time, or when we went to the Masters, international travel, mate, he was up at 4 a.m, so we were just getting home from the pub. He's Walt doing the form for Kembla on a Thursday, now on a Friday, and we got in a lot of trouble because we weren't out of bed at 6:30 sharp to go to Augusta.
There's a lot of sick people in my Discord, and they all want to have a bet, so, you can't let them down.
Very good service, racingwatch.com.au. So make sure you check it out, and happy holidays for you. Well, let's have a look at Ascot, the Group 1 over there. It's race 9. There's 10 races over there, and the fields are delish. So make sure you flick the channel across. And I think this race is about 7 o'clock Queensland time, or 2 minutes to, and then it'll be 8 o'clock Melbourne time. So don't turn the telly off too early on Saturday afternoon. Watch Me Rock's come up favourite, $3.50 here with Pike. Not sure. There's J-Mac tax and then the POC tax of Pike, I'm going to call it, because wowee, they come up.
There's a word that rhymes with POC, which reminds me of the price of this horse. There's an X on the end.
Poxy. Western Empire, $6 second pick. Cosmic Crusader, $6. Also in the WA Stakes at $1.80. So if it doesn't get a start, which is likely, might be a very good bet there, or something for some multi-fodder. Super Smink, $7.50. Osipenko, $7.50. Diamond Scene, $10 in from $20. Iron and Merc, $12. Depth of Character, $12. Storyville, $15. In Good Order, $18. Magnificent Andy, $21. Comfort Me, $23. And you got Bustler out there at $61, and Much Better the rest. Couple of replays we're going to have a look at here. This is Watch Me Rock, and it's just getting the PR in the green and the blue diagonal stripes. And yeah, great win, comes across heels, and the horse I sort of like at big odds behind it, back on the inside. And she's a big mare, and Pete Moody would put a nose roll on her as Storyville, and I think she's a horse that's sort of perhaps more looking for a mile versus the favourite there, Watch Me Rock. And I think there's just too big a price discrepancy. Watch Me Rock, $3.50, and then you got a horse like Storyville at like $17. To me, that just doesn't quite add up. And Storyville's now on the backup, so there's been a bit of a break between those runs for Watch Me Rock, whereas Storyville comes here on the 7-day backup, and she won the WA Guineas around this time last year on the 7-day backup. So horse with a lot of talent, and she's a 4-year-old mare, so just starting to hit her straps, I think. And then here's the other, I guess, lead up is the Least Ears Stakes, and this is Western Empire out the back in the orange and the white. You got Super Smink in the race as well. You got Comfort Me up in front leading. Magnificent Andy's in the blue with the red hat. So yeah, it's a key lead up here, but I think the horse that's flying here is Western Empire. Was a pretty quiet ride, and while Spikes chose to ride Watch Me Rock, it's an interesting rider engagement with Billy Egan taking the ride on Western Empire. Sort of
he won on it, didn't he? I couldn't work out myself straight away. I was like, what the heck's this? And then I see that he won on it, whatever it was, about 12 months ago or something. So I'm assuming that's why they've plucked him out of the Never Never. But if you can tell me where they've plucked...
Knows the horse.
If you can tell me where they've plucked Rhys Jones from, who I don't think has ever left New South Wales before.
Fresh off his Vivier win, though. His depth of character, and you guys listening at home might know the form because you've got Autumn Glow, you've got the Japanese horse, and depth of characters in the red with the yellow hard fence now, and he just never stops coming. And
price would these horses be in this race? Autumn Glow, Panja, is it Panja Rock? Sepples,
Evaporate.
What price would they be in this race? It would struggle to have a 2 in front of it.
God, he went good, and it just, it still haunts me a bit. The depth of character didn't go around in the 1400 at Flemington when it was
shout out to Tom Haylock. I don't think I dead set think he hasn't had a shave since, and he may never have another one. He's never recovered mentally.
I don't think I have either. So it's a bit jarring. And the other little bit of deja vu is when we tipped up Port Lockroy on the show last year, and Annabelle, same camp,
last win,
same target.
Yeah, it went okay the other day. I thought they might have put it on a late ship, but to be honest, I honestly looked at because I've obviously got to do the pot tomorrow at Taree, and I clicked and I looked and I saw Rhys Jones and I thought I've clicked on Taree, so I don't understand. And it's got gate 20, but man, it's a huge price, isn't it? It's just a crazy price. And Osipenko is actually enormous as well off a slow tempo in Sydney last start. The problem here is this: they're going 20 lengths below in all these lead-up races to this race. So they're all these 2,000-metre horses sit up on speed, and Comfort Me looks the only leader again, especially with Cosmic Crusader not going into the race. So, and will they put tempo into it? You'd assume they would in a huge field like this, but it doesn't. There is no horse that really wants to do it. So, does Reese give it a little dig out of the gates? Depth of character, it definitely would be probably having that as its first thought if it was mine. And $12 is a huge price. All this local form to me is very hard to work out because they're all these dirty little squirt up 400-metre nothing races. Super Sphinx drawn horribly here. I thought it was probably the one of the locals, but it's drawn terribly. And sort of Western Empire was given the biggest barrier trial you've ever seen in your life first up. And then Big Willie jumps off it and jumps onto the favourite, who looks nowhere near as good a horse. But, it's a bit of a head scratcher. I think the two Raiders are hard to beat if they get the right runs, Osipenko and depth of character. Just because I don't like the depth in the race here. I don't know why Merck's here. Merck runs 1,600 metres off a cliff. Maybe if they walk and it lands behind the leaders, it could do something, but I don't understand what the heck it's even doing here. But, yeah, Western Empire is very, very, very dangerous if it gets the right run from gate 1. It's just how far back it gets and whether it gets it, and it's the local horse to beat for me from the gate, and then the two
Sydney horses.
Yeah, Sydney horses. I couldn't get excited about the locals, to be honest.
Yeah, I assume it's a pretty it's a map that's just holding this price at 350 Pike barrier 4, but I could not touch it. Like, in terms of me wanting to lay Coal Crusher, I'm getting triple the feeling about laying Watch Me Rock. I just couldn't back it with stolen money. And depth of character, you just have to try and roll the dice here. I think he's going to be, barrier 16. If he can sit midfield or a touch forward of midfield with some sort of cover, it's one of the easiest $12 bets you can have in your life, depth of character.
I agree with that. Like, it's not a race you want to go over the top in, but if you're betting in the race, you have to back it. I think Osipenko will get out in the betting, and I have to be with it a little bit too. I've been told that I don't know whether that was a line they sold old TC to get him to jump on the plane, but definitely come through the run well, and everything's, they're very, very happy with him, and he's got quality up to 2,000 metres when he's at his best, and he does look like he's back near that, so, he's just got to hope there's at least a sort of evenish tempo, or at worst, they all take off a little bit early because that speed wasn't in the race, and they just don't let it turn into a 400-metre zap up like they have all the lead-ups.
Mm. That's the other thing with Diamond Scene. I think it's going to be good. That first up win was in the right sort of spot, but I'd probably think it's a right setup run for maybe third or sort of third up or fourth up.
Yeah, 2,000. He just landed in the absolute dream spot, didn't it? It's a quality horse that can sort of maintain a sprint. It didn't matter who was in that spot, was probably going to run well.
Yep.
It's a good horse, but you say it's a 2,000-metre third or fourth up horse. Now you would think, and there's quite a few in that sort of vein, isn't there? There's not going to be. I don't think there's going to be a length or two between all of those horses. So I couldn't. That's why I keep poking holes. I agree with you. In the $3.40, it doesn't make sense. It's not a dominant horse. Watch me rock.
It's a decent bet for me. Depth of character, and then I'm going to have something on Storyville, who really well suited on the back up, and just strikes me as a horse desperate for 1,600.
The Muffs.
Yeah,
a muff sauce.
Just a good.
It's probably one of the best muff sauce I've ever seen. And I'm not even joking there. It does have it's the one. It needs muffs.
Nico?
Yeah, it's a tough race, isn't it? Because the Perth stuff, you feel like you want to go looking against it, and then the shippers like the Osipenko and Depth of Character are just drawn in hell. So I think it does sort of lead back to Western Empire. It'll be a Walt cupboard job here if you're on. You're just going to have to sort of pray that he gets a run. But yeah, the horse is airborne, and my big knock with Watch Me Rock is he just can't seem to put away a field. Like he looms up like he's going to bolt in, and then he just gets into a battle with whatever on his inside. So I feel like if he does that here, there's a huge chance something just swarms him in the last few strides. That would be my big knock with him. Obviously, he's got a lot of upside, but I would like to see him put away a race a little bit better. So yeah, I wasn't really sold on Osipenko or sort of Depth of Character's math, and I think Western Empire might be a better horse than both of them at his best. So I was happy enough to have something on him. Now he's drifting at the price.
He's the one that he could get held up to the 150 and still get out and burst and win, whereas the rest of them don't have that, I don't think. So, Billy. Oh, Billy.
Billy's riding all right, and he's fearless, so he'll take the chance when it comes.
Fearless Billy. All right.
Billy loves taking gaps. That's how he rides in Melbourne. He gets back on the inside and back markers, and he just weaves his way through the field. So I think he's actually the right man for the job to be looking for one here.
Well, if it gets to $5 or $6, it's a big price.
Yeah, outstanding. At least we agree on the best local hope there, or hard in the market anyway, Western Empire, and I agree. He can sort of bomb a finish as well, despite carrying the big weight there. All right, that's a wrap from us. I was actually Pike is on fire though. Having said that, like his numbers on punting form are huge, and he's so profitable at the moment.
It's like I sort of have it always on in the background, not really paying much attention, but you sort of every time a race is on, when they come to the bend, your eye get taken to it, and it just amazes me how many times a leader skips you in front and something bombs it, and it's Pike every time. And as you say, they're not 6-4, they're 5, 6, 7-1 a lot of the time. He's just a freak at timing runs on horses that are obviously not the best horse in the race. He's good at getting the right horse home, but he must do his homework so well for those pool of horses that he knows what he can and can't get away with. And he's a freak at timing. The last 100 metres, he definitely gets home more than he misses. He's a genius.
Yeah.
In Sydney.
It's a bit of
mate. I've just had a phenomenal. A new something. Trav Noonan just followed me on Instagram. That's a goal. That's a goal ticked.
He's losing the plot. He needs a paddock desperately. Nico, good luck over the weekend and on .com.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Hopefully we can find a few winners. That seems like it's going to be a weekend for a few knockouts. So hopefully a roughie or two in there.
Don't forget me on Sunday, mate. Don't forget me. I don't even know where they are, but I've only got Taree to work with in New South Wales, so I'm going to need your help again, both of you.
Kilmore Cup.
That sounds like exactly what a Sunday pot is. Kilmore.
Beautiful. You've been doing well around there. Just don't know how you do it. Making what? Strawberry jam out of?
Yesterday we made a bit of jam. We got a bit of lucky.
Out of pig manure. Beautiful stuff. Puntingform.com.au is the form guide that I use, so make sure you check that out. And it's easy for me just to tiptoe over into WA and start doing form there. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Big thanks to Ladbrokes. Make sure you head to the Mates Mode pot and hang out with Walt on Sunday before he jets off. And littlebirdie.tv is where you'll find our summary of our tips page, and that links out to everyone's Twitter handles, which is great, and all our summaries and the YouTube videos. Everything's there. And we've got the Bris Vegas show for Friday for Sunshine Coast, Mooloolaba Cup on Saturday, and it doesn't stop until Magic Millions Day, so no rest for us until then.
Don't know why we're doing the show. Donnie's already tipped in 73 races on Tuesday before the fields came out.
Yeah, Anthony Donner's the hottest tipster at the moment on Twitter. He's dropping nuggets of gold everywhere, so make sure to check that out as well. Big thanks for watching. Subscribe, like us, love us, do whatever, and we'll see you next week.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.